Bristol 1350 is a strategy dice throwing game designed by Travis Hancock and published by Facade Games in 2021. It is a 1 to 9 player game. However, we will be playing the 1 player version today. It is a bookend game, which means that it comes in this nice box that looks like a book when you put it in your bookshelf, so it's easy for storage. The goal of the game is to get through the town of Bristol without contracting the plague. In the 1 player version, if you contract the plague at any point in the game, your game is over. So without further ado, let's get into the game of Bristol 1350. Welcome to the town of Bristol. Goal is to get through this quaint little town to the finish line without contracting the plague. So we have myself as the sheriff, the barmaid, the earl, and the knight playing. We're going to grab all 3 or 4 of these pegs. We're going to mix them up and see who goes first. First player is in the birch cart, which looks like it is the barmaid. Second place is the knight, who is in the cedar cart to start off. And then the last 2 in the oak will be myself, but I'm going to be last behind the earl. Everyone starts off with 2 symptom cards. I've taken out all of the 4s, which is the same as the multiplayer part of the game. And the goal is to not get anything more than 6 points of symptoms. And because if you do get 6 or more, then you are automatically dead. The non-player characters, or otherwise known as ghosts, I will not know what their totals are until the end of the game. So we deal out the cards to everybody, including myself, 2 cards each. And the only time we change it is if I have 6 to start off, which I don't, but I'm really close. I'm at 5. That is not a good start for me. So I'm going to move the non-player characters over here, the ghosts. That way it's a little more manageable for myself. For 1 to 3 players, each person starts off with 2 remedy cards. I have also shuffled these. So I'm starting off with the Pomander and Leeches. Those are pretty good cards to start off with. After the symptoms have been dealt, you shuffle in the 4s. So I'm going to do that right now. Just give it a few good shuffles. Oh, that wasn't good. There we go. And one last little one. Okay. So now it's time to begin. Beginning, we start with the barmaid. So the barmaid is rolling. So we have 2 rats and an apple in the oak. We have 2 rats in the birch and 1 rat in the cedar. So how things go with the ghosts is when on their turn, they roll 1 dice from the lead cart that is not their own. So in the case of the barmaid is going to re-roll the cedar dice once. It comes up as an apple, a birch apple. Anytime the re-roll comes up as an apple, the ghost character will move. Now, the barmaid is already in first position, so the barmaid will not move this turn. It is now the knight's turn. The knight will roll 1 of the birch. And when the ghost characters are rolling, they always roll the apples first before they roll any rats.
came up with a rat. So if it had come up with an apple, again, the knight would have moved up to the next car. But it came up as a rat, so the knight stays still. Earl's turn. The Earl will roll one of the whites as well. Came up with a gray rat, or rather an oak rat. And now it is my turn. I have a chance to either use one of my cards, one of my remedies, or re-roll the dice. Now, I don't want to mingle just yet. If you have 2 or more rats, you mingle. And when you do that, you take your 2 cards, you add one of the symptoms, shuffle it, and those 2 new cards are your new symptoms. So I'm going to re-roll these 2 and hope that I do not get any more rats. Unfortunately, I did get a rat. So that means that the barmaid by herself is going to mingle. And so basically, I just shuffle a little bit until I don't know what card is which I wouldn't anyway. Deal out 2 and discard the last one. I'm going to do the same, but this one, since I'm in the same cart as the Earl, I am mingling with the Earl. So I take both of ours, shuffle it around, and then deal out 2 to each of us. So that actually helped me out a little bit, because I lost 1 symptom, which is really nice. Now is the moving turn. So now we have each dice color shows the movement. So we'll start with the birch. Birch is moving 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the oak, which is where I am, is moving 3 as well. So 1, 2, 3. When you are in the same position as another cart, the cart that was in the lead going into that turn stays in the lead if you're on the same spot. So, because of that, the barmaid is first again. So we have 3 for oak, 2 for birch, 1 for cedar. The barmaid is going to re-roll 1 of the oaks. She can't move anywhere because it came up with an apple, so she stays where she's at. Now the Earl is going to re-roll 1 of the birches. Earl moves out of my cart because he's in the front and into the cart with the barmaid. And then he lies down. So I'm going to fix that real quick. So I will move to the front of that cart. And now the knight will go. The knight will also roll this rat. And it comes up with another rat for the oak. So my decision for this one is if I don't roll at all, I can still move. So what I can do is I can jump either behind or in front so I don't have to mingle at all. However, if I re-rolled these 2, I could move forward further. So I think I'm going to do that instead because birch is not going to move at all. So I'm going to re-roll. I still have to mingle and I still move forward 4. So it didn't really change anything. However, I am going to mingle first. So this could be good or bad. All right, we got a 2. And we got a 2. So we did not get any worse. So my cart will move forward 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And cedar will move forward 2. So now I'm in the lead, so I go first this round. got a rat and an apple. Rat and an apple, and 2 rats. I'm going to go first. I know that these 2 are going to get re-rolled. So I'm actually not too worried about that because I am in the lead. So I'm going to actually draw a remedy card this turn and see where it goes from there. I end up getting another leeches. Now when you draw a remedy card, you can only play that remedy card the next round. However, any remedy cards that you already had going into the round, you can play any number of those that same round. So that was my turn. The barmaid goes first. She's going to re-roll this apple. The earl is going to re-roll this rat. Came up with an apple, so the earl is actually going to nudge forward in front of the barmaid. And the knight is going to re-roll this apple as well. The knight now jumps in the cart with the other 2. So, the cart, the cedar cart mingles, but nobody's in there. The birch cart mingles, and all 3 of them are in there. So all 3 of these people are mingling. You add a symptom and shuffle the cards. So this makes me weary of any of those 3 characters because there's a good chance that they might have a 4 now in any of their symptoms. So now the birch is moving forward 3, 1, 2, 3, and cedar 1, 2, 3. And it's still my turn to start. So we got birch with 3. That was a rat. So my turn, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-roll these because I kind of want to stay in the lead. So I'm going to re-roll these. See what happens. Didn't actually help me too much. Yeah, that didn't help me that much. So now it is the Earl's turn. He's going to re-roll the 1 die that's in head. He's going to move forward into the cart with me. The birch, the only dice that are not their cart is behind them, so they're going to roll that one next. So with the cedar cart, so barmaid is rolling this one. Barmaid is already in ahead of the knight, so she doesn't actually know. I apologize. She actually moves into the cart with me and the Earl. The knight will re-roll this die. Comes with a rat, so the knight does not move. Now, the problem with this is I'm in the cart with 2 others who could have the plague, so I need to get out of that situation. But before that, nobody's in cedar, so nobody's mingling. No mingle. So we move. So I move 1 with everybody. Birch moves 2, and 1, 2, 3. And now the knight is in the lead. That is a lot of birch. So the knight will roll the only other one that is not the birch, so roll the cedar. Then it comes to me and the other 2. So I'm going to do what everybody else is going to do, and that is re-roll these so that the birch cart does not get too far ahead. Which actually helped out. Wow, look at that. I know this was an apple. We'll fix the knight. And then the Earl will re-roll one of these. Actually, it'll be the apple. The Earl will actually go in front of me. And then the barmaid will literally do the same thing. So that pushes me down back to the back of that cart. And unfortunately, we are all mingling right now. Nobody else is mingling, so we'll do that. So basically, it is the barmaid, myself, the Earl, and an extra card. Not the most ideal setup for myself. Hopefully I will not come out of this with the plague. That's a good one. A 1. That means I will not have the plague for sure. But I did get a 3, which is not great. Now we move. Birch moves 2. 1, 2. I move 3. 1, 2, 3. So the Birch is still in the lead. And then Cedar moves 1. So the Knight goes again to start it off. All right, Knight will re-roll one of these. And then basically the other 2 will re-roll the Cedar. And the Earl is jumping into the cart with the Knight now. None will, or the barmaid will also. And then I'm going to re-roll these 2. See what happens. It actually helped. Okay. So, nobody's mingling this round, because there's only 1 rat for the 2 carts. This cart has nobody in it. So I'm going to move forward 2. And the Birch is moving forward 1. And now the barmaid goes first. All right, barmaid will re-roll this rat because it is the furthest forward cart that is not their own. I don't necessarily want to mingle, but I know that these 2 will be re-rolling these, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to re-roll these 2 reds and see what happens. Actually, didn't do too badly. So the Knight's going to re-roll 1 apple. The Knight is now jumping in the cart with us. That is not making me happy because I have a feeling they might have the plague. The Earl is going to re-roll an apple. And it comes up with a rat. Okay, so that's good because that means I have 1 chance of not dying in case I'm in a cart with somebody who has the plague. Barmaid goes first. That was an apple. Okay. Barmaid is going to re-roll 1 of the apples for Birch. Comes up with an apple there, but she does not move. I can't do much of anything. So the best I can do is just hope for the best as far as somebody, either the barmaid or the Knight, not having the plague. So I'm going to re-roll this die and this die, which is good because it got rid of 1 of the rats. The Knight will re-roll 1 of these apples. And then the Earl will re-roll one of these apples, which means we will not be mingling. Now, the one thing about that is it's an apple, so the Earl's going to move forward, kick the knight out, and the knight will be in this cart now. In retrospect, I should have, instead of rolled, I should have moved back there, and then I would have been kicked out, but I didn't know. So, nobody's mingling. Actually, I apologize. The knight is mingling. So we'll do the mingle first. Oh, I apologize. I shouldn't have looked at that. I apologize for that. I go to the finish line. 1, 2, 3. The knight goes there, and Cedar is way behind. So now I know I don't have the plague. Hopefully the barmaid and the Earl do not as well. 4, so it's the Earl. If the Earl has the plague, I lose. If the Earl does not have the plague, then we all win. And he doesn't. So we all win. And look at that. The knight had the plague. So it's a good thing that the Earl knocked the knight out of the cart, because then I would have lost. So that's how you play Bristol. A quick tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. That would really help me out a lot. And I look forward to bringing you more videos of solo gameplay in the future. Have a great day.